The world is a wondrous and confusing place. The advancements of science and history and the expansion of our knowledge of the earth gives us a more comprehensive view of our world than ever before. With these constant leaps forward, we're uncovering more and more secrets each day, some of which have left scientists, archaeologists, and historians perplexed. It gives them numerous questions and attempts to provide explanations as to the fascinating artifacts and locations they've stumbled across. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 interesting discoveries that have been revealed. The Rabbit Hole Caves. The Cainton Caves in Shropshire appear to at first be a rabbit burrow, nothing out of the ordinary or noteworthy. You would, of course, expect to find a burrow within the fields. However, this particular rabbit hole is a little more peculiar. Discovered inside this unassuming burrow was what had been described by historic England as a grotto. Essentially, a network of caves less than a metre underground. These caves are a series of arches and walkways carved out of sandstone. Local legends suggest the caves were used by those who followed the Knights Templar in the 17th century. This was a Catholic military order established in 1119 in order to protect pilgrims when travelling to Jerusalem. Despite being disbanded in 1312, the local rumours speculate that a group of supporters, 500 years after the Templar had dissolved, met in these caves. It was here they demonstrated their allegiance to the Catholic Church. The fuel behind this theory comes from the images etched onto the cave walls, some of which depict the Knights Templar cross. These explanations have generally been deemed more plausible. However, there are suggestions presented by historic England that these unusual caves were built late into the 18th or early 19th century, in the Victorian era. This is a very stark contrast to the suggestion that it was used by supporters of a medieval religious order. Despite the unconfirmed history of these hidden caves, the structure has remained untouched for years. Now these caves, found quite literally down the rabbit hole, entice modern visitors who want to use the caves as a place to practice black magic rites. In 2012, the caves were sealed to prevent them from being used for black magic and to deter vandals. It's predictable that parties and other unwanted groups often attempt to visit the caves. In January of 2017, BBC conducted an interview with a man from Birmingham. This man went to explore the caves after seeing it in a video online. He stated, unsurprisingly, considering the discreet rabbit burrow entrance, if you didn't know it was there, you'd just walk right past it. He commented on the good condition of the largely unchanged caves and likened it to an underground temple. The sight is remarkable. The below height of the caves does mean that those reaching 6 foot will have to crawl on their hands and knees to make it through the tunnel. With such a place being so easily hidden away, it's truly fascinating. How many times have modern individuals entirely obliviously walked by this historical location before its discovery? The Spirit Cave Mummy. In 1940, the Wheelers, 2 married archaeologists, were surveying archaeological sites when they stumbled across the remains of 2 people in Spirit Cave. This was in northwest Nevada. The people were wrapped in tall matting. One of these was partially mummified. The mummy was estimated to be 10,600 years old. This date was sourced through radiocarbon dating techniques, although this research wasn't conducted until the 1990s. This makes the Spirit Cave mummy the oldest natural mummy ever found. A genetic study in which DNA sequencing was performed upon the mummy occurred. It showed relation to a Native American tribe of Nevada, this being called Fallon Port Shoshine tribe. This should have been expected, as for decades the tribe have said that the Spirit Cave is part of their ancestral homeland. The genetic research has also involved analysis of other ancient remains that have been deemed fairly controversial. This has ranged from within Alaska to Patagonia. The study has then traced the movement of early human groups, especially across America during the Ice Age. The research has been published within Science magazine. The findings regarding the genetic makeup of the Spirit Cave mummy have resulted in a great deal of new scientific theories being introduced and many existing ones being disproved. One notable theory that challenges these findings is the accepted idea that Paleo-Americans were living in North America prior to Native Americans. This mummy proves that 10,600 years ago, Native Americans were living within North America. Over 10,000 remains from a 19th century Brazil have had their DNA sequenced as part of this research. This shows an improved methodology to tracing relations between human remains. Before DNA sequencing was widely used, the standard method to conduct this same research was called cranial morphology. This was where skull shapes were studied. This new research technique has proven that Spirit Cave and Lagoa Santa are more genetically similar than previously thought. In the year 2000, a long legal battle began regarding the ownership of the mummy. This resulted in the aforementioned tribe suing the US government for violating the Native American Graves Protection and Reparation Act in 2006. In 2015, Eske Willersley of the University of Cambridge and the University of Copenhagen led research looking to further confirm the ancestry of the Spirit Cave mummy. The tribe allowed him to conduct genome sequencing on the skull, confirming the Native American heritage. In 2008, the Spirit Cave mummy was returned to the tribe, and the mummy was finally laid to rest in 2018, in a private ceremony. The idea of groundbreaking sociological and biological research being made based on a life that ended an estimated 10,600 years ago is fascinating. The ability to make such vast discoveries after such an amount of time has already passed is truly a credit to the scientific abilities we've developed. The Maya ritual cave untouched for 1,000 years. The Maya civilization was a society of indigenous people of Mesoamerica. This is known today as Mexico and Central America. The Maya history is undeniably rich with mystery. The most puzzling perhaps is the little knowledge we have regarding the rise and fall of the Maya. The picture becomes a little clearer the more clues we gain, and the following discovery provides some more information. Archaeologists were looking for the sacred well. This was meant to be below a Mayan city. Instead of finding the well, they found a cave, with more than 150 ritual objects tucked away inside. It's been suggested that this trove of ritual items may help historians to understand what happened to the Maya, and what contributed to their presumed downfall. The series of caves are known as the Blamku, translating to Jaguar God. Their discovery was reported in a press conference held in Mexico City. This was by Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History. It was initially discovered by farmers in 1966. After this, it was visited by archaeologist Victor Segovia Pinto. Segovia reported upon the sheer number of archaeological materials from the structure of the cave itself, then about the dozens of artifacts within. An unusual turn then occurred. Instead of excavating the site and removing the artifacts for study, Segovia instructed the farmers to seal the area, so that all records that the cave had found appeared to have vanished. It remained sealed for more than another 50 years before being found again in 2018, when it was reopened. This was again while a search was taking place for a water table beneath the same town. In 2018, it was a team of National Geographic explorers. This was led by Guillermo de Anda, who found it as part of the Great Maya Aquifer project. During the discovery, the National Geographic team reportedly had to crawl through on their fronts, dragging themselves along on their stomachs due to the tight and small passageway of the cave. They stumbled across the artifacts within the cave, presumed to be offerings left by the residents. These offerings were preserved. They had minimal interference and remained untouched for so long that stalagmites formed around the items. The finding is extraordinary. With 155 artifacts being identified, this is arguably one of the biggest archaeological discoveries of our lifetimes. Some of the offerings include incense burners, vases, and decorated plates, with many artifacts holding sacred markings. Some have the face of the Aztec god of rain and fertility, and others are marked with a sacred tree. In order to provide some context as to the scale of this discovery, another cave was found as a Mayan ritual site. This site was excavated in 1959 and was found to contain 70 artifacts. This was considered the largest discovery, and this new cave held twice as many artifacts. The ancient Maya societies believed the caves were openings to the underworld, making them places of high religious value. This is why offerings and artifacts are found in these places, and they offer great value to researchers. The untouched and preserved nature means there's usable organic matter that can be investigated. This may indicate factors that led to the city's collapse, such as a natural disaster, and possibly even a more accurate timeline for the Maya life. Whilst we don't know why Segovia sealed it up again, the information found from 2018 has been of great value to researchers, and we've continued to learn more about the ancient Maya civilization. When we continuously make new advancements, it's hard to think there's any more mysteries left within the past to uncover, and yet discoveries about ancient societies continue to be unveiled. How many more secrets remain hidden away within our past, and how much of it will we ever discover? So what do you make of these interesting discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community, whilst working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.